Bear Down Bears fans, Super Bowl week is here, and I'm going to give you some of the free agents that will be available after this Sunday's game that maybe the Chicago Bears should look at. And it starts right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Want to talk about some of the free agents that will become available after this Sunday's game. Happy Super Bowl week. First off, I can't wait for this Sunday's game, dog. I'm actually going to be live out at Worth Stadium Club with Brandon Hyatt from the Chicago Bears podcast for the first half of the game. Then the second half, I'm going to go out, kick it with fam and stuff like that. Have a good time. Enjoy the second half of the game. But just pull up on us at Worth Stadium Club out in Worth, Illinois, 6900 West 11th Street in Worth, Illinois. So it'd be a great time, man. Food, drinks, beer, all that stuff, man. Let's go. I like how I do drinks and beer separate. Anyway, let's get to the video. So Chicago Bears have an opportunity to sign some of the players that are playing in this upcoming Super Bowl if they so wish. Bears do have money available to them. And a lot of the players that are in this Super Bowl that are free agents fit positions of need for the Chicago Bears. Number one I look at is Mike Edwards right now. He's the safety for the Chiefs. With the decision that the Bears have to make on Eddie Jackson, you want somebody, to me, who's a veteran back there. And the reason that I say that is because you're probably going to move on from Bojack. I like Bojack. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's a player who, leadership-wise, who stability-wise, when he's out there, you know that Jaquan Brisker feels safe. And Jaquan has said this. He feels more comfortable when Eddie Jackson is out on the field. But the problem with Eddie Jackson is the injuries continue to mount. Age has not done him well. And so you're probably going to have to move on from him for that reason. That's why, to me, I would look to go out and see what Mike Edwards could bring back for you. I think he's a guy who, again, veteran guy. He's had 8 interceptions in his career, 5 fumble recoveries, 1 forced fumble, 4 defensive touchdowns over his 5-year career. A ball hawk type guy, very similar to what Eddie Jackson has been. Now, maybe you want more of a better coverage guy back there. It depends on what you want, right? But just having a veteran voice back there, I think would be a really interesting get for the Chicago Bears. And you've seen how this Chiefs defense has played this season. That's something that the Bears would love to build towards. I think that Mike Edwards would be a really, really good name for the Bears to bring in, just because of that stability on the back end, understanding what he's going to be able to get into, understanding how he's going to be able to play off of Jaquan Brisker. I think that would be a combination made in heaven for the Chicago Bears right now. It's one of those things as well, the fact that, right, you're going out and bringing in somebody who's young, 27 years old for Mike Edwards, doesn't have a ton of age on him, doesn't have a ton of wear and tear on him. Like I said, only a 5-year career to this point, but you know you're going to be able to go out there and get great production out of him, and that combination of them on the back end would be something I'd be very interested in seeing happen. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below about Mike Edwards. Do you feel like he would be a good name for the Chicago Bears to go out and get? Now, the next name I'm going to give, I know everybody's going to sit there and go, oh, but Pat, you know, why would you want him? And I get it. I understand it. I watched him in that Detroit game too, but there is still a talent there, and that talent is getting to the quarterback. And yes, you can only use them in limited snaps and things like that. But to me, that means limited money, because I think everybody saw that Detroit game. But if you can get Chase Young in here on a very team-friendly deal, I think that he would be a very interesting addition. One, we know how he works well with Montez Sweat. And the fact is, right, there are times where he just looks like he is very, very unengaged with the game. But the one thing that he can do is rush the passer. With the Bears probably moving on from from a Yannick Ngakoue. Can you get him in here on a similar type deal? Maybe a 1 year simple thing, right? That, okay, yep, we got you in here. You got a year. You're with your boy again. You got to prove to us that you can be here more than a year. One, that you can stay healthy, and two, that you can go out there and actually be able to stay engaged the entire time. Matt Eberflus talks about loafs all the time. We don't need to see any loafs out of you out here. I think if there's a short-term deal, his services could be utilized well on this team. I think especially coming into a comfortable situation, he could really go after it. I'm not sitting here telling you he's going to give you more effort than he has on the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if that's the case, but as far as one of those young guys who can get to the quarterback, who when he is engaged is a dominant pass rusher, I think if you could get Chase Young in here on a very minimal deal, like I don't think the money's going to be rolling in. I think he's going to be in a unique Ngakoue situation where you get to the end of the year and you go, listen, okay, like, yes, there's a couple of suitors for you, but they're coming with low money deals. He's probably going to try and wait it out. We'll be at the end of free agency, and then it'll be like, look, I got $5 million for you. I got $10 million for you. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like I said, a very unique Ngakoue type deal. And I think that would be a better situation for the Bears, because now you get a guy who's a legitimate pass rusher. You know, you can't play him every down, so you're still able to try and go out and develop some of those younger guys there. I think that's a win-win situation. It's a best case scenario situation for me with Chase Young. I have him on the list because he's a 49ers free agent. I'm not sitting here saying that you have to go out and get him, but I guess, right, like, I got to throw him in there. The next guy, of course, this is an easy one. And this to me is probably the most important one, right? I could have started with this guy. I can end with this guy. Like, this is a no-brainer for me, and I understand you have to pay the money, but I think a lot of people have to think about what this defense could be. Chris Jones is going to be available. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to bring him back after a Super Bowl. If they go out and they end up winning the Super Bowl, there's probably more of a chance that the Chiefs do end up bringing him back, trying to work out a deal with him. Everybody's always like, what are you? They could franchise tag him, not for $33 million. You can't. That franchise tag is ridiculous. I would love to see him get that straight up money. Like, yeah, go ahead and tag him, boys, and see how little you can do with the rest of his defense. But Chris Jones to me is a guy that he's a key. Right? He unlocks this team. He unlocks this defense. And yes, he is a little bit older. Maybe you get him on a 3-year deal, short-term type of thing, right? He is his next season will be his age 30 season, but those interior defensive linemen usually can play till they're 32, 33 years old at a high level. You're only getting 3 to 4 years out of an elite defense anyway. You're going to have to replace that guy. And I know everybody's sitting here hoping for Javon Dexter to take that next step. I'm not saying that Javon Dexter can't take that next step, but there's a guy here that's already taken that step, and you know the kind of impact that he can have on a defense. I think that Chris Jones would be worth every single penny you would pay for him, and I would be all in, especially knowing that a lot of the positions that need the Bears have, you can address in the draft, right? On the offensive end is really where a lot of us look. If you're spending all this money on the defense, how are you spending all this money on the offense? Offensively, I can address wide receiver in the draft. If I want to, I can address tight end in the draft, right? Left tackle, I don't know if they're going to address that. I think they should, but that's something you could address in the draft. Center, something you can address later on in the draft, and you can still sign a low budget center. We've talked about Evan Brown as a guy that can come in and be a good 1-year center, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you have enough options there where you can spend the money on this linchpin piece on the defensive side of the football. Go out, keep Justin, or draft Caleb Williams, whatever you do, and continue to build that offense out the way that you want to build it. You still got DJ Moore over there. You still got a really good run game. And I think that doesn't change going into next season. So I would focus on that 3 technique piece, though, because as excited as we were about this defense, we were missing a very integral part of it, right? That 3 technique is the linchpin. And if you don't have that, you're going to have more games than not that end the way that they ended this season, where defense at the end of the game isn't getting enough pressure. You're not getting those crucial sacks. You're not forcing the quarterback out of the pocket, right? And yes, you're in the game. The defense has played well, but there's still those moments where you go, but that was bad. I think if you get Chris Jones on this team, that to me changes everything. Not even just him getting the sacks. The sack numbers are ridiculous in themselves, but not even just him getting the sacks, but a guy who just, the pocket's going that way. You know, no matter what, the pocket is going backwards, and you're going to allow Montez Sweat. To me, that allows DeMarcus Walker to be better. Of course, you know what Sweat's going to be able to bring. And I think even in that situation, right, but with a combination of Jones and Big Bill in the middle, right, you're going to see guys flourish. You're going to see Zach Pickens take that next step. You're going to see maybe even a Dominique Robinson take that next step, right? Somebody who's basically fallen out of favor with this team. I forgot he was on the team for a little while there. So I think Chris Jones is a no-brainer to me because of how much that position means to the Chicago Bears. Let me know how you guys feel about Chris Jones in the comments below. A lot of defensive guys out here. I guess if Jones wasn't a guy that you end up going to get, right? The one guy that I would kind of look at and say I would be very intrigued if the Chicago Bears went and got him, because you still allowing for Javon Dexter to have that that you're the guy, we feel like you're the starter, you're going to go out there and develop, we're putting your feet to the fire, feeding you to the wolves, all of that. It's Sebastian Joseph Day. Sebastian Joseph Day to me, I mean, listen, is he going to be the lead 3 tech out there? No, but you have an opportunity to have a really, really solid rotational piece. And we know how the Bears want to run this defense. They're a team that wants to run this hockey platoon defense where we're swapping 4 guys in, 4 guys out, get out there and go. I think that Joseph Day would be a very interesting piece in that. 11 sacks, 21 tackles for loss in 71 career games. And he hasn't missed a ton of time in his career. That's the part that to me does excite me with bringing him in. Nice depth piece, and like I said, rotational piece, nothing crazy. But now you're going with the development route. Now you're going with the you're the guy route, Javon. Go out there and dominate, and we've got a veteran here as a nice backup piece. But as always, man, I do want to know how you guys feel on all of the pieces that I named today. Are there any names I missed? I know Randy Gregory's out there. I know that Nick Algeretti's out there. If we want a backup O-line interior type of guy, maybe we do with Tevin Jenkins dealing with some injury. I wouldn't want to bring him in as a starter though, but he would be an interesting piece possibly. I think that there's a lot of options for the Chicago Bears here in this Super Bowl, and I hope that they take a close look at it. But as always, man, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. It's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. Peace.